Oh, and then, oh yeah, this is a church attack that you guys asked
Kimberly
for.
Halkett has more on the strike and the political fallout from the White House.
Because you guys mentioned a church as well. So here you go. Here's the thing that you guys were talking about. Somebody asked.
New details are emerging about the congregation of Gaza's only Catholic church that was targeted on Thursday by Israel. More than 600, mostly women and children, were sheltering there. We now know at least 3 people have died and at least 10 have been injured. We also are now...
No way. Israelis killing Christians? No way. Bro, it's what these guys do all the time, bro.
Aware that the Pope had been contacting members of the congregation on a nightly basis to...
Look at that. Is that a kid? Bro, guys, it's a fucking horror scene in Gaza, man.
Contacting members of the congregation
every day, bro.
Nightly.
Yeah, that's a woman.
Basis to check on the well-being of those sheltering.
Guys, they're killing hundreds of people a day, bro.
They're asked about the incident. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said the president was not happy when he heard about what had happened.
It was not a positive reaction. He called Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning to address the strikes on that church in Gaza, and I understand the Prime Minister agreed to put out a statement. It was a mistake.
Yeah, just like the other day where they killed like 6 kids and said, oh, it was a tactical error, a technical error. Bro, I don't know why we keep supporting these motherfuckers, bro. Yo, this is why I'm so anti-Israel, because they make us look bad in the process, chat. They're only able to do the crazy shit that they do because of us. Okay? Make no mistake about it, guys. Israel is not sovereign as they think they are. They will not be able to exist without our tax dollars, and they kill innocent people every single day with it. 70% of their funding, guys, 70% of their weapons and their military funding comes from us. 70%, bro.
Mistake by the Israelis to hit that Catholic church. That's what the Prime Minister relayed to the President, and you should look at the Prime Minister's statement that will become out.
Still, this is not an isolated incident. In fact, the Israeli military has targeted at least a half-dozen churches in Gaza since just October 7th of 2023 using precision-guided munitions. Still, the Israeli military maintains this latest attack was purely accidental.
What? What? Bro. Yo, I gotta rewind that. Hold on, man. Hold up one sec, bro.
Israeli military maintains 7th of 2023 using precision guided has targeted at least a half-dozen churches in Gaza since just October 7th of 2023 using precision-guided munitions. Still, the Israeli military maintains this latest attack was purely accidental.
Bruh. One of the questions I get asked a lot of the times, or people try to insult me with it, is they'll say, Myron, you're demonetized. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? You decided to go ahead and get into this topic and talk about it, get involved in it. You should have just stuck with the dating, made a bag, let the Fresh and Fit grow, Fresh and Fit podcast grow to new heights, secure brand deals, secure lots of money and opportunities, right? Do you regret it? And despite the fact that we've lost millions of dollars, we've lost a lot of opportunities, we've lost a lot of resources, right? Especially getting banned off of Meta, etc. Despite the fact that we've had to endure the censorship that we've endured, I don't regret it for 1 second. And the reason why I don't regret it is because I was probably the first big YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers to bring Nick on my show and talk about this topic before October 7th, right? And back then it was even more taboo. And I don't regret it for a fucking second. It made us stronger. It made us more resilient. It allowed us to find other means and ways where we weren't dependent upon YouTube. It allowed us to continue to speak freely on topics that no one else would ever touch. And quite frankly, money isn't everything. And like I told you guys before, we were discussing being a minimalist. This is one of the beauties about being a minimalist. I don't have a lifestyle to keep up. I have a business to run, an operation to take care of, and people that depend on us. But outside of my own personal funding, I don't care. I pay my employees first, and I take care of them. Then I worry about me after because my expenses are so low. I don't give a fuck. So, and I have my real estate and shit. And I kind of knew this from the beginning, that if I was going to be a true teller and get into this kind of content creation, that I was going to need to have things in the backline and be fairly resourceful. And we've been able to do that. So if we ever do get our monetization back, we're going to be fucking cooking for real. But if we don't, we're prepared for that too. And I don't regret it whatsoever. I don't regret it whatsoever. Because exposing this, because many of you guys got red pilled on this topic from me. I've opened up a lot of your guys' eyes to this stuff, right? And yes, it came at a cost, but I think bringing awareness to what the fuck is going on with our really bad foreign policy is important for Americans to know. Every single one of you watching this show that's an American citizen is paying for this. Myself included, by the way. I have blood on my hands as well. But I'm trying to wash the blood off. And the way that I'm going to wash the blood off is by using my voice and telling the truth, even if that means it's going to cost me dearly financially. I'm a minimalist. It doesn't matter. So I will continue to use my platform to bring awareness to this fucking topic, because I'll be damned if my fucking tax dollars are going to be used to drop bombs on fucking babies and I don't say anything about it. Israel's killing innocent people every day. They are responsible for the entire destabilization of the Middle East because they run our foreign policy. And up until now, no one knew this was going on. Very few people. Myself, Nick, Sneeko, some brave true tellers out there. So, Ryan Dawson, Scott Horn, they've been talking about this shit forever. Scott Ritter, etc. So many people, too much to name. But yeah, dude. Yeah. So sometimes I got to see some shit like this to put things in perspective as to why I do what I do and why it's about helping you guys become better men, making you guys more educated on what the fuck is going on in the world, and honestly, letting you guys know where your tax dollars are going. Right? So, look, we all got blood on our hands by being American citizens paying our taxes, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be trying to fucking scrub that blood off and do it right now. So, anyway, and honestly, that's what the OSS is, bro. Bringing awareness to a lot of fucking people about this shit.
Kimberly Helkin, Al Jazeera, the White House.
Incredible. Oh, yeah, it was an accident. Bro. That's crazy, man.
As you heard there, Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu issued a statement on the attack after speaking with Donald Trump. Hamda Salhout has more from Jordan's capital, Amman. She's there because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel.
I love how they keep saying that every single time, bro.
And the occupied West Bank.
Niggas love to say the occupied West Bank.
A brief statement from the Israeli prime minister after pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump for him to address the situation at hand. Netanyahu's office releasing a statement that says, quote,
Cletus Vendema says, how is Israel bombing everyone and America just backs them, but in the same breath condemns Russia for doing the same exact thing to Ukraine, which actually used to be the Soviet state. U.S. foreign policy is his ass backwards. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, it's ass backwards, bro. And yo, the thing that kills me, guys, is that not enough conservative right-wing creators talk about this shit, man. Bro, our foreign policy is cooked. It is fucking trash, bro. It is trash. Like there's only a few. I'm like, it's like I'm in fucking clown world. There's only a few political commentators that talk about this shit, bro. Because conservative media is so fucking cucked that guys like Matt Walsh will never speak negatively about Israel. Michael Knowles will never talk about Israel. Crowder will never criticize Israel. Or he might be like, oh yeah, I think we should like kind of take our country back, but they won't go deeper than that. Bongino, stayed away from it, right? Like conservative political commentators never cover foreign policy, bro. I think like me and Nick are like the main ones. Candace does as well on the right wing. But bro, it's crazy how unaware so many Americans are. And that's by design, by the way, chat. That's by fucking design. They've been censoring this shit for so long, on the right especially. There are entire right-wing groups designated to not letting you guys find this information. There's Right Wing Watch. There's Media Matters. There's the ADL. They fucking come in to chop people. That's what got us demonetized. Media Matters, bro. Media Matters wrote the article that got us demonetized, chat. So censorship is really fucking real, especially on this topic.
Israel deeply regrets that stray ammunition hit Gaza's Holy Family
Bruh, this nigga.
Church. Every innocent life lost is a tragedy. We share.
And the only reason he's doing this is because Trump called him. He would have never done this shit if Trump didn't call him. The Israelis don't give a fuck about Christians.
The grief of the families and the.
I think a lot of them actually like I think a lot of them hate Christians and Catholics more. Guys, throughout history, the people that persecuted the Jewish people the most are the Christians. Let's be honest here. You know? Because niggas killed Jesus, bro. Like, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like,
fatality.
Niggas killed Jesus. Is that anti-Semitic to say? It's the truth. It's in the fucking Bible. Right? So that's led to their expulsion from so many different places.
The faithful. We are grateful to Pope Leo for his words of comfort. Israel is investigating the incident and remains committed to protecting civilians and holy sites. Now, this is not that much different from the statement that was issued by the foreign ministry after the attack had taken place, saying that Israel never targets holy sites in Gaza. However, over the...
You know, it's funny. Some retard in the Rumble chat, dude's name is Tim Stool Media 304, says, Myron, you're totally wrong. I'm wrong that them boys killed Jesus. Okay, buddy. Chat, you guys could go ahead and roast that nigga in the Rumble chat. Go ahead and have fun.
Last 21 months, Israel has repeatedly targeted churches and mosques across the Palestinian territory, killing thousands of Palestinians as a result. But whenever there is pressure on the Israelis, whenever there's international pressure on Netanyahu specifically, that's when the Israelis release some sort of statement about wrongdoing.
Exactly. If Trump didn't call him, that nigga would have just kept it pushing.
Last week, when there were at least 10 Palestinians, mostly children, who were killed waiting in a queue at a water distribution site. After the international outcry, that's when the Israelis said that there was a malfunction with their munitions.
That's the technical error that I told you guys about a couple of days ago. The story that she's referring to is the story I told you about. I didn't know it was 10 kids. I thought it was like 5. Here, let me see.
After the international outcry, who were killed just last week, when there were at least 10 Palestinians, mostly children, who...
Yeah, it was like, okay, yeah. It was like, I think like 6 or 7 kids and like 2 or 3 adults. Okay.
Were killed waiting...
That's the story I was telling y'all about.
In a queue at a water distribution site.
Could you imagine that, guys? You're literally sitting there to try to get some water. You haven't eaten in days. There's no food. You're waiting there for fucking ever. Lines fucking long as hell. Everything around you is rubble. And you're trying to get some fucking water. And you get shot at by Israelis, and then they have the nerve to sit there and tell you, oh yeah, sorry bro, technical error.
Fatality.
Bruh, these niggas are evil, man.
After the international outcry, that's when the Israelis said that there was a malfunction with their munition. And what Netanyahu is saying here is he didn't really admit that it was a mistake, saying that Israel expresses sorrow and is investigating the situation, saying that it was stray ammunition. But it's a little bit hard to believe any sort of Israeli investigation that happens after 21 months of war.
Yeah, and this happened like with the, remember guys when I showed you guys the video of the med workers that the Israelis killed? They killed like, I think 19 aid workers, and then they fucking buried their bodies in shallow graves and tried to cover it up. And it wasn't until it like hit the New York Times that it became a big spectacle, and then the Israelis had to do an investigation, and then they said, oh yeah, we relieved all those individuals. Bro, these niggas are committing war crimes, getting caught all the time.
Because the military oftentimes absolves itself of any sort of wrongdoing. There is no one held accountable, and there are thousands of Palestinians who've been killed as a result.
Hundreds of thousands.